Stars are whispering tales of old, planets spinning, stories bold. Life is dancing through the night, countless worlds in the starlight. Galaxies full of mystery, infinite in their history, beyond our dreams and our sights. Life blooms in the cosmic lights, dancing on the edge of space. Take me away, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night. Nebulas with colors bright, birth new wonders in the light. Comets trail their sparkling tears, life endures through the years. In the silence of the void, every heartbeat is enjoyed. From the depths and to the heights, life expands through cosmic night. Dancing on the edge of space, and off we go, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night. Dancing on the edge of space, and off we go, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night.
Well, hello everybody, welcome, and it's my pleasure to say that Daryl is joining us again today. Daryl, how are you? Daryl is with us.
Can you hear me?
There he is. Okay.
All right. Sorry, I was monkeying with things here.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark.
Welcome back, Daryl. It's been a long time, too long.
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. Long time no see.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
what's happening at your end, Daryl? Everything
Mark,
good over there?
I'm hearing an echo now.
Yeah, we didn't have an echo before, did we? Okay. Not sure why. Let me work on that. We did this without a problem before. Yes, we did. Well, I got that off, so that's fine. Okay, well, we'll work on that and figure out what we can do. I'm not sure why you're hearing an echo now when we did a pre-call to make sure everything was working, and it was just fine. Alright, so let's see. Okay, let me go into the call. Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see you all here, and I am happy that Daryl can join us again. It's been a while, Daryl. I'm so intrigued by tonight because we have a first quarter moon. Telescope is performing very well. And I am still looking at this, Daryl, trying to figure this out. But audio settings are what they were before.
I'm afraid to say anything.
Well, you're not echoing. Do you have the chat up with the window for YouTube? You're probably hearing that. So mute the YouTube stream if you got it running.
Oh, duh.
Is that better?
Okay, how's that?
Well, you're fine. So you probably don't hear any echo now, right?
No, not yet.
You won't then.
Like I said, it's been a while, folks. I'm rusty. Sorry.
It's okay.
I muted the YouTube page.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a common mistake, and if you haven't done it for a while, of course. First things I want to do is I want to welcome everybody. Sally Forth is with us. Tim F is with us. And Daryl, yay. Maddie Waddy. Maddie, impressive as heck, man. Thank you so much for that donation. You're incredible. It's been a while since you've been in the streams. I'm so glad you're back with us. And hopefully you can join us a lot more often. Obviously, you don't have to donate every single time, naturally, and you don't have to donate at all. But the fact that you did is we're very grateful for that. Thank you, man. It's really good to have you back. And we have let's see, Donald Kunzer's with us, Daisy and Zoe Amethyst. Like I said, the gang's all here, and we have Dio Crew. Hi, man, how you doing? Welcome to Sky Through Livestream. Kevin O'Neill's with us here. Kevin is from Vancouver, aren't you? I believe. If you stick around, folks, you'll see people from all over the world joining us. We have people come in from China, from Thailand, South America, Chile. It's really, really cool to see all that. Yeah. Tiffany Echo's with us. Tiffany is a very important person to SkyTour Livestream because Tiffany Echo and Michael Tarr took it upon themselves to distribute equipment for us to give away in online streams. And so we always give them credit. If you go to our webpage, if you look at me down in the corner here, lower left, skytourlive.org, you can scroll down and see all the things you can do, including find this stream, find our Patreon page, which is up here. You can see it up here. Okay, you can support us in Patreon at the top of our page. You can see it there, right there. You can go to our Etsy store. You can hang out with us there. And I have one thing I have to also add in here. You're going to see the time start to tick off correctly here in just a moment. Normally, Donald Kunzer will remind me, hey, you forgot to get the time fixed. And boom, there it is. We got it fixed. Excellent. Oh, yeah, so here's the first quarter moon. You can see the telescope here. What's that, Daryl?
First quarter was about 28 hours ago.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, you're right.
It's waxy gibbous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
You can hear me okay now, though, huh?
Yeah.
I'm afraid to touch anything. I've got a really touchy cable or something here.
It's okay. Not a problem, man. But I'm glad you're back with us. This is. I said the other night was going to be the last stream until I got back from Canada, but I lied. I'm doing another stream tonight, obviously, and Thursday I head to Nova Scotia to do a talk up in Shag Harbor at the Shag Harbor Conference. So if any of you are going to be in Shag Harbor, I insist you come say hello, and I'll definitely take time to say hi to you. And okay, we have C&D Boy with us as well. It's nice to see you, man. I'll be up in Canada, like I said, Thursday, the East Coast, the Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia side. And then Good Vibes is with us. How you doing? Nice to hear you or see you. Good Vibes. Yeah. So we're doing fine. And I'm going to show you something here on the screen. If you look up there, here is the live view. This is the live view of the moon right now. And what we can do is we can actually live stack that. So if I click this key right here, you'll notice it's going to get looking like this. And what's happening is it's going to get a little bit sharper. And we've got 15 stacked images here, okay? So we can actually do that. We can actually do this kind of thing. And right now, if you look, we have all these parameters down here. We can actually make adjustments like to the stacking parameters. Like right now, we can actually sharpen it up more, okay? And just play with these values, and you can see how, obviously that's too much, okay? But it looks kind of cool. But we can just reset all of it and say auto sharpen, and we'll get an auto sharpened view, okay, like this. And that's kind of cool looking. All right, and then we can save that if we want. And I've already saved a few, which will be in the directory later. I did want to point out something here, and if you want to add anything here, Daryl, please feel free. But you look at the moon, and you look at these different colors. All right, different types of lava were flowing in these basins here, and also earlier lavas were flowing. The darker lavas tend to be older. The lighter lavas tend to be younger, because cosmic rays haven't blackened and darkened the lava like they do on like cosmic rays do on asteroids and so forth, where the asteroids tend to be very, very dark. Comets, in fact, are the worst offenders. They're almost black, yet we see them as gray. That's just because of the way the camera took the photo. But they're literally very, very dark charcoal black, comets are. So that's from cosmic rays and so forth. Now we also have our planetarium here, and we have some interesting items up here. Okay, now if we look, here's Saturn. Okay, Saturn's kind of low right now, but we might be able to see it. I'm going to actually take us to a star field and do a proper focus. All right, so I'm going to take us up into this Scutum star cloud here. We'll actually go right there to the Wild Duck Cluster. We did this the other night, but it's a good test for us to go up there. And if you watch, you'll see the telescope right up there move up. All right, and we'll change all these settings because right now we're going to be running at 1 second here, and this will give us a little background. All right, so let's do this. Those milliseconds, and let's change the gain to 250. Telescope is swapping over to the other side of the pier to catch this because it's on the western side. So you'll see that go down right about here. We should actually be able to see it. All right, if we look in here, you can see that the telescope is centered on it. It's not quite in there. When it switches sides at the pier, sometimes it gets knocked off. But what we'll do is we will plate solve. I'm sorry, I'm going to plate solve, and it's going to find the solution, but I'll plate solve and resync. There it is. Daryl, you having trouble with your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Okay. Because
All right.
you were being quiet.
I was busy trying to do something. I can't get your server to display.
Well,
you know how I'll put a link up for the sharp cap captures?
Yeah, why can't you do that?
The address in the top bar is way too long. It only shortened for me before.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, I'm on the fly here. I can't figure out how to
Yeah.
do that right now.
That's fine. Carry on.
All right. Okay. Well, this here is the wild duck cluster, Measure 11, and we're gonna just do a. Actually, it looks pretty nice, but I'm gonna actually do a focus run. So I'm gonna take it out of focus a little bit, and then do a actual focus run to really sharply focus it, which this just did more. So I'm going to actually take it a little more out, and then we're going to do the focus. There it is. And then we're going to focus in the negative direction. Here we go. So now we're going to focus, and you're going to watch the curve get developed over there on the side, right over in here. You'll see like a curve like this. And the telescope's going to be in perfect focus at the bottom of the curve. And it's actually changing the focus to a different location. And as it does so, it's going to end up with that real nice parabolic curve. Okay. Dean Bostador is with us. Kathy Mesick. Hi, Kathy. Sam S. is with us. Nice to see you guys. Wonderful. This is great. I've noticed in the past, that the focusing routine, Daryl, sometimes gets thrown off by the moonlight. I don't know why. So we'll see what happens tonight. This is kind of a test, but it looks like it's doing okay.
You're at the wild duck cluster.
I am indeed.
I would guess the moon is in your general direction you're pointing.
It is.
That might be a factor.
Except it looks like we're building our parabola down here. It's going to make a curve of best fit, and it's probably going to be right about here when it comes in. There it is. There we go. So it builds a curve. You'll notice that the focus points the telescope stopped at are these little triangles, but the actual focus best point is actually not on that location. Now it's going to the location of best focus. Okay, there we go. All right, and now once we're all locked in, I'll come out. We'll do a test. We'll do a test by doing a 12-second photo of the wild duck. Meanwhile, I will put this up so you can see this is annotation showing you exactly what we're looking at. I'll set that target name because we'll use this as our first object tonight. Okay, so we're good there. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And I'm going to live stack this as a 12-second photo. Here we go. And now you'll see the image come in. Now this is enacted. We got to remove that right there. Bring us down to this. This blue that you're seeing, I wanted to show you this. This is how the moonlight is affecting our night sky. You'll notice when the moon is full that the area around the moon looks like blue. And the reason is because just like the sun, the reflected sunlight can also do what the sun does to the atoms and molecules in our upper atmosphere. It can cause its blue light in the star spectrum, the sun spectrum, to be scattered. And so we get...
It's still Rayleigh scattering.
It's still Rayleigh scattering, that's right. Even at night. It's just reflected sunlight's doing the job and not the actual sun itself.
Oh, for the good old days. When I lived up in the high country, we'd go cross-country skiing under the full moon sometimes.
Oh, I bet.
And once or twice, I turned my headlights off and drove in the dark in the full moon in the wintertime. So it's almost bright as day out. Don't do that, folks. That's me when I was young and stupid.
Okay, well, no one's going to try that. Although I got to tell you a story. I think folks like my stories. I had a night vision system, so what I did was I got a bunch of people in my car. We were going up to a very remote dam on a river. I'm sorry, on a lake. And we were driving out on this dam, and on either side was this steep drop-off of rocks down to the water on each side. As we got on that road, I put the night vision scope up to my eye and turned off the headlights. I could see perfectly, right? And everybody else in the car is now seeing blackness. And then I'm swerving to the left and the right. Now, I was young and stupid. I'm swerving to the left and right going, oh no, the car is out of control. And they're all screaming, ah! And I turn on the headlights laughing. I let that go for about, I'd say maybe a solid minute. And 1 minute when you're terrified seems like forever. And it took a long time for them to forgive me and drive with me again.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame him either, right? But hey, I had the technology, and so I really thought it was funny, especially when I was swerving with the car left and right, and I'm staying on the road. I see the road. I see the slopes. The slopes are really far away, but they didn't know that. Like, oh no, we're gonna go over. Oh no. And then there was this other. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, don't lose track of what you're gonna say. Then there was another time when I actually we took this box of glass and stuff with us out on the dam, and there was this one guy that had this real beautiful telescope. It was a Celestron 8, the old style orange tube Celestron 8s, for those of you that may know what that is.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you remember. Well, anyway, needless to say, it's a telescope, and you know what? You want to be really careful with telescopes. So we had this bright idea that we're going to tell Tom, the owner of the telescope, that somebody knocked it over and it fell down the slope into the water. So we took the box of glass and we had it out on the dam. He didn't see it. And he walked away to go to the bathroom. All right. And then we struck. And we said, oh no, don't touch that. And then we just slammed the box on the ground. You heard smashing glass. And we just kept bouncing it around. And with little breakups in between, like, And Tom came running back with, my scope. And he comes over, he turns on the flashlight. It's still standing there. He goes, what the hell was that? And it's like, and of course, what are they doing? They're pointing at me. Oh, come on. You guys are all in on this. But no, when Tom's mad, it's me. It's my fault. Yeah, okay. So you see, that's crazy stuff.
Well,
yeah, this
for
nerd
your
stuff.
talk about the seductive nature of time a minute ago, it's apocryphal, but Einstein supposedly gave the explanation of relativity is if you sit on a hot stove, that 1 minute can seem like forever. But if a pretty girl is sitting on your lap, that minute goes by really fast. That's relativity.
Yeah, that was the analogy that he gave, yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's cool.
So I have to say, I mean, I've noticed this in the imaging you've been doing at Benson lately. The camera you're presently using seems to have a much, much better red response than what I've seen on your other cameras.
Yeah, I think part of that is...
Is that camera, filter?
Well, we're using the same filter, and as you can see down here, guys, down right here, this is the filter wheel. I'm going to show you what the SA100 is doing, too, because you haven't seen that yet. I want to show you that. However, the UHCS is a relatively narrow band filter where we're seeing a narrow band for the hydrogen alpha, which is a very sharp point, and we're seeing a little on either side. Then we're seeing the oxygen 3O3, which is the ionized, doubly ionized oxygen. That's a narrow line, but we're seeing a little width on either side of it. And then we're seeing the sulfur 2 line, again, a line, but a little bit on either side of it. And then, so that's what we're seeing with this filter. Now, part of that filter can see the blue, all right, and that blue is partly the O3. So there's some leakage of moonlight in because it does show some blue. So we'll see a little bit of the blue. If we knock out the blue, it'll be dark as can be, all right? But then it doesn't look proper, all right? That said, when we use the UHCS, that's great. We also have this radiant filter. This is more of a very narrow band filter. We have a solid, simple H alpha line, okay, which is the red you see in gaseous nebulae. Then we have this nice teal blue line for the oxygen 3, and then a solid sulfur 2 line. So it's 1, 2, 3 distinct tiny bands with no bandwidth on either side. So that filter is much more specialized, right? Then we have open, where we just have an open hole. We don't have a filter at all. And then we have the dark, which is just a dark disk, which is blocking the entrance at all to let any light out. The SA100, which I'll show you in a couple seconds here, is a spectral filter that allows us to see the spectral classes of these stars. And I'll show you how that works. This is not what I've been talking about as far as the spectrograph. That's still coming. Okay, but let's get out of this for a moment. All right, and now let's go to the SA100. All right, and you'll notice an immediate difference as soon as it comes in. All right, we're in the SA100 now. Let's see if we can increase this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now you're actually seeing the lines, okay, of the stars, the colors of the stars. We're going to do this a different way. We're going to do a 12-second shot, all right? And that's going to be too much, but we'll do it anyway just to show you. Okay, you can even see some of the lines here for this particular star right there. They look like little vertical lines in there. See them? And those vertical lines are the spectral lines of the elements that are within the star. Lines. That's right, absorption lines. Now, if we zoom in on this, okay, I know it doesn't look focused right now, but that's because we are right now just doing a single shot, right? And there, I could probably manipulate this to look a little better, but you can see also that when you look at the spectrum here, just by looking at the brighter parts of the spectrum, you can tell what type of star it may or may not be, based on the fact that if you see more blue, it's a bluer star. If you see more red, it's a redder star, like a red giant. Antares will look very different from Vega. In fact, why don't we go look at Vega while we're doing this, because this is kind of cool. All right, so here's what we'll do. I'm gonna come down here. All right, and we'll try this. I didn't think of doing this for the other stream, but you know what? This is actually a good thing to try. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is come back here, and we're gonna go all the way up. We can try going to Vega, but we can try going to Altair and see how Altair
looks. Christmas.
Huh?
I see Christmas.
What do you mean Christmas? Oh, here?
Yes.
I guess so.
Never mind. That's from an old show that nobody probably remembers. I can't even think of the name of it now. It was on MTV.
Okay.
Sort of like doing too much LDS in the 60s, you know?
Star Trek. Okay, here's Altair right here. And as you can see, this is a very, very long exposure for this, but this is better. All right, in fact, we can even reduce that a little more. All right. All right, so now we zoom in on this. All right. And this is the primary spectrum right here. You'll see there's some dark lines right there. And there's also, if we come back in here, let's see. We see some dark lines right there. See them? And there's some more out here. I don't see any in here. But there is definitely some dark lines out here. You can see them. In moments of good seeing, they really show up well.
This is begging the question, no doubt, but if you knew the spectral class of, that's Altair, right?
It is.
Wouldn't that reflect on what dark lines you're seeing?
Absolutely. But you can see definite lines there. Now, I happen to know that this far down in the red end of the spectrum, these lines we're seeing right here are actually the spectrum of water vapor in our atmosphere. Because the water vapor is stealing a little of the energy from Altair's light that's right here. Now, it doesn't look like you can see lines here, but there's software that I use called RSpec by a friend of mine named Tom Field. And RSpec will take this data and show you the lines. And it does a very good job of showing you the spectra. It's really quite good. And the spectra tells us what's in the star, what it's made of. If we take images of nebulae with this, we'll see, like if it's a round nebula, like the Ring Nebula, we'll see a round red nebula, a round teal blue nebula, and not much else. That's because of the O3, the oxygen, which is giving off this teal blue color, and the hydrogen, which is giving off the red color. Right? But we want to see more detail. So the spectrograph we're going to get is called a slit spectrograph. It's actually going to take the images that we see, and it's going to be able to break them down and show you very, very, very high levels of detail into what's inside of a star and what it's composed of. All right, and this again, this is Altair here. All right, and that's sort of like a harsh reflection of it there. But if we take the gain down here, keep in mind this is live, so we bring this gain down, all right, and you see that now this area is very bright, and that's because Altair is a bright star in the blue. We can see that, right? Now, if we bring this in here now, all right, like this, let's actually bring this down even more. Let's go to 250 milliseconds. All right. So now, again, we're seeing it shift around and everything, but that's because of the nature of the night. But in here, you can see that this is much brighter than the red. Okay, this is because Altair is a brighter, bluer star. All right, at the very least, we can see that. And once we get our spectrograph set up, we're going to be able to do very detailed analyses of things like supernovae. We'll be able to see all the details of what's making up the supernova, and that's something that's going to be really cool. So we'll go back to our UHCS, so we're taking the filter and moving this one out and bringing in our visual filter again, our UHCS, and you can see now how this looks. So that's pretty cool. Now we can bring this up a little bit. Oops, that's the wrong up.
So, if you could hold that for just a second.
Sure.
Altair is a bright A-class star, and how would that relate to what the spectra is showing us?
Well, the spectrum would show us if Altair's like I don't know the exact spectral type of Altair. If it's an A, it's probably not an A. Yeah, but it's probably not an A05, right? It's an A75. So the hydrogen lines in an A7 are weaker than the lines in an A05, which is what Vega is. So we're going to go check out Vega and see if we can see those hydrogen lines in this spectrum. All right, so we're going to go there first. Just check it out. All right. And then we will... oops, I guess I actually got to tell it to do that. Right, so here we're going to do this, and now tell it to go. All right. Okay, I guess it's going to... Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, and let's see where it thinks it is. All right, it's not there. So, let me let me change my gain back to 250 for now. And let's set this to 1 second so we can do what we normally do. So we get 4 times as much detail. There we go. All right, so now we can come in here and plate solve and resynchronize, and Vega will end up right in the middle. So you see Vega right here. Here, we'll put up this so you can see where it's going to go. And boom, just like that. Okay.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, right? Okay, those are all the different reticles I have to use. Okay, so now let's go back to our spectral filter. All right, and Vega, of course, is exceedingly bright. And let's go see if we can get any of the hydrogen lines in here. Let's go to this side. All right, and I'm going to drop our gain down to nothing because I want to be able to see them. All right. All right, that's 2 seconds. Not showing up. I think I have to this is the primary spectrum that we're looking at. They repeat after a while, but all right, in moments of good seeing, see, I'm not even guiding either. I probably should try and guide on one of the stars in here, and that might actually help get a better view. Okay, so let's try grab a star. Perfect, and I will guide on that. All right, and now we might get a better look here.
I see a dark line.
You see lines. There's lines. There are lines in here. Where's the dark line you see?
It's in the blue, just a little bit short of the yellow. And
Right here?
Right there, yes.
I did see that.
And I see some red lines in the red also.
Yeah, that's down at this end. Those are the telluric lines are there. And again, you can see some vertical lines in here. So we're getting the lines. You can see the hydrogen lines. They're actually causing a slight break in this image. So as we come in, now what we're doing, guys, I'm showing you some of the real science, okay, in astronomy that we do to try and figure out what's going on up there. When we look at light from, say, 3i Atlas, we'll be able to see those nickel emissions and lines from 3i Atlas. Nickel absorption lines, probably.
Nickel.
James Dugan from Australia. Yeah, nickel was in 3i Atlas, not without iron, oddly. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, so that's this. Now, let me drop this down to 1 second exposure. I mean, the shorter the exposure, the better if you can do it. And then what I can do is actually bring this up. Let's bring this up a little more. Okay. Yeah, you see how it gets blurry for a bit? Then you get moments of good seeing where you actually see the lines. So now that we're guiding on this, if I live stack it, it's going to get pretty bright. Yeah, too bright. But what I could do is drop this way down. Yeah, it may not be able to. The exposure is probably too long. Yeah, I'm already all the way down here. Yeah. Still too far down.
Speaking of Comet Atlas, I think there are 4 comets up there right now. Comet Swan has been running close to. Is that another Comet Atlas?
Look at these lines.
Go back and look.
Yeah, well, the Atlas system, again, is just a telescope system used to, as you know.
Yes, yes.
But for the folks listening and watching, well, that's cool. All right, well, anyway, you get the idea. These lines are very important, and they help us figure out what's going on. I know some of you are saying, "World lines, I don't see them." We can kind of see them here, you know. And they typically, now, again, this is a much brighter spectrum. And the spectrum isn't fully aligned properly. I mean, the spectrum filter has to rotate in the view here. And because it hasn't, it's got to be done manually, and then once it's set, I can lock it in place. It's not in the right position to show you the lines properly. This should be big and wide as the star, and it's not. Okay, so it has to rotate more, and then it becomes very obvious. All right.
There is another Comet Atlas, C2025K1 Atlas.
Okay.
Was right next to Comet 2025 R2 Swan.
Okay.
R2 Swan is the one that may put on a really good show here in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Coming up out of, I think it's like from Libra up into Ophiuchus, and then
Okay.
it's going to be right next to the Eagle Nebula soon. And
Well, we'd have to catch it early.
yeah, then this other Comet Atlas, K1 Atlas, is on its way in. Swan is on its way out. And there's yet another one, Comet Lemon. May
That's
also
right.
be
I heard
putting on a
about
good
Lemon.
show about that time. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's named Lemon for Mount Lemon Observatory in Arizona.
Excellent. Okay. All right, so there's Vega. We got our little view there. So now, since we're up in the north here, first things first, I'm going to bring Vega into the center here, and we're going to lock onto it like that. All right. Now, I think being that we're up here in the north, one of the things I wanted to do was to show you, well, this is going to be kind of down here a little bit, but I'm going to show you this. This is one of Daryl's favorite clusters.
Wow.
One of your favorite clusters. You can watch what the telescope's doing. You can see it heading down. Yeah, we were guiding a little bit. Okay. There it is. Yeah, I'll just knock that off. Okay. All right. So we can bring the telescope down and over. Oops, that's the other way. The other way, move the telescope up and to the left. All right, and then do this. I keep doing the wrong thing. Here we go. All right. So this is a beautiful cluster known as Messier 13. And it should be nicely focused, but I can check it. Yeah, it appears to be. We're going to go down to 150 for the gain on this. Not 50, 150. Okay. And I did that because I want to remove some of the noise. Okay, so why don't we do a 20-second shot of this guy and see what it looks. I'll do 25 seconds.
I think Sam S is trying to get your attention.
Where is he?
Bong
He was.
Bong Paging Professor
Oh.
and Dan Antonio.
Hi, Sam. Sorry. I was so caught up looking for the object I didn't look at the chat. Thanks, Daryl.
Sure.
Okay, Sam, what do you got? All right, so we're gonna get out of this. We're gonna do that and do this and pow. Now we're gonna clear that because we're not guiding properly yet. I have to re-establish the guider with every shot. All right, so we're gonna do this and guide away. Okay, so we're clear. Actually, if you guys have a question, please do put it in all caps. That's fair to do that when we're on the streams. That way Daryl can see him, and then I have a better chance of seeing him. I would just aping the bong sound. I don't know what that means. Aurelio was with us. Aurelio Maraca, hi. Aurelio is the guy that puts on the Connecticut UFO conference down at the Danbury Public Library. I will be speaking there October 27th, right? I believe. I'll be in person. So that'll be fun. So let's do this. Look at that. That's beautiful. Do you see the propeller?
I'm looking. Not offhand, no.
Isn't this it right here? Or is it not?
Strange.
Or is it?
I see something that's darker, but it's farther over toward the left.
This over here?
Farther to the left.
Oh, 25th of October. Okay, thanks, Aurelio. All right, well, let's see here. Let's
I'm confused.
Let's do this. Now it's there. Looks like this, no?
No, that I don't think so.
All right, so I'm looking at the other quadrants and wondering whether the image got shifted or whatever. When looking at the moon, it was correct. You know, Plato was up, you know, down, and the moon was facing the right direction. James Dugan, you're right. You can add a question too, like question mark. But if you just put it in caps, we're good. Hey, Michael Hendrick, how are you? Good to see you.
I see something vaguely electric propeller, but it's much farther out toward the edge at the lower left, at about just below 9 o'clock.
Like right here?
Farther up, right there, right there.
Yeah, that's not it. It's in here, I believe. It's interesting because I wonder if something's changed.
Are we sure we're looking at M13?
That would be a good call, but let me go see. Yeah, look. This is Measure 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's try this. Let's try to
Maddie,
pull
it's
this
called
over.
a globular star cluster. It's globular clusters are collections of stars on the low end, maybe 50,000 up to hundreds of thousands, like this one. up to 4 million in the case of Omega Centauri down in the southern sky. Um, Globular clusters are some of the oldest objects in the universe.
Right. And the other thing, Maddie, is they actually orbit the galaxy, and they're called halo objects.
Yeah.
And they orbit way out and sometimes pass through the disk of the galaxy, as like Measure 22 is doing right now, which is in Sagittarius. And it's crossing the disk plane of our galaxy, and will head on out and probably lose some stars and gain some stars as it does so.
Our Milky Way galaxy has about 200 globular clusters in it, if I remember right.
I think you are remembering correctly. Yeah, and if we had an unsharp mask, let's see if that makes any difference. Well, I mean, I did go at a lower gain, so maybe the propeller right here needs to be seen at a higher gain. But I think it's cool. Nonetheless, that's pretty cool. Right, so...
Maddie, this is the best globular in the northern sky. Most people would say.
Yeah, actually, what's happened is we didn't get any to stack here. We got one to stack, and then the rest could not. That's weird. We're gonna do this again. I think that there's this happens too with the moon. Sometimes the moon affects our stacking. Now we are guiding, right? You can see we're guiding correctly. I'm going to stop the guider, and I'm going to tell it to reacquire some stars. Yeah, it still wants to guide from that, and that's fine. Let me drop this down. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see what our full width half maximum. We're at 11. That's actually pretty high. And let's see if we didn't stack any others. It's probably yeah, that's weird. We should have been able to stack those. I notice this happens from time to time.
As Donald Gunzer says, wind. Might wind be an issue?
Yeah, wind can be an issue. Yeah, absolutely. Michael Hendricks asked a question. He says, James Webb found a primitive galaxies extremely far away. But there are some nearby as well. What could this mean? This has to do with cosmology and the distribution of galaxies. And so I think that's interesting. I'm going to tell it not to do this, and let's just let the guider do the work. And it's still going to reject them, isn't it? I don't understand why it's doing that.
Yeah. Even if it's below the
Yeah.
full width half max.
Yep.
It's like you caught one image.
I did. The first one always comes in. So let's see what this one does. Yeah, now, why? I told it not to filter on this, so why is it filtering on this? Let's look at the log, see what it says. Okay, I'm going to guess it probably can't calculate on the alignment. Not stacked because it could not align. Okay, so it couldn't align. I don't understand why. Alright, that's fine. I don't know why that happens. But it's possible that... Okay, let's go to 1 second here and see if we have any kind of wind bouncing us around. I'm going to guess that we don't.
End of Times has a question.
Okay, end of times. Welcome, by the way. And Marco, how are you? Let's see. What's your thoughts on lack of NGA in 3i Atlas? Plus, Avilobe said it's green because of cyanide, but cyanide makes it purple. No, cyanide is cyanogen is a green when it outgasses, and so that's a carbon atom and a nitrogen atom connected to each other. All right, and that's actually what makes the green glow. It's definitely a cyanogen glow.
I don't know what NGA is. Lack of NGA.
I don't know the acronym, but must mean something that we should know. If he says it, I'll know what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure. But we'll figure that out.
Interestingly, cyanide scared a lot of people during the 1910 apparition of Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
We've talked
Old
about
Flammarion.
this before. Yeah, Flammarion was a French popularizer of astronomy back around that time, sort of like Carl Sagan was to us a generation ago.
Yeah.
He pointed out that they had detected cyanide gas in the comet's tail, and Earth was supposed to pass very close to the comet, and he managed to scare people all over the world thinking that we were going to all die of cyanide poisoning. And as I mentioned before, Arthur Conan Doyle, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, he also wrote a story about it. I think it was called The Poison Belt or something of the sort, where the Earth passed through the tail of a comet and everybody apparently died, and then they all woke up again.
Yeah. Yeah, end of time. Sorry, that was you're talking about non-gravitational acceleration. Sorry.
I see.
When Avilobe did the study of 3i Atlas, he discovered that it wasn't. When we say non-gravitational motion, we're meaning that it doesn't seem to follow the trajectory that we expect for a typical cometary object. All right, and so what this led everyone to believe was that maybe this object's more massive than we realized. And it's an interstellar comet, and 2I Borisov, which was the previous comet that came through, 2I Borisov was actually a very lightweight comet compared to this one. So this one seems to have acquired lots of carbon dioxide ice on its surface, which it outgassed us. We saw lots of CO2. And the non-gravitational motion of this one, non-gravitational acceleration, indicated a lack of response to gravitational fields as expected. It still responded, but it didn't respond in the same way that we may have theorized using Borisov as a model. So the non-gravitational acceleration showed us that this object was more massive and thus more resistant to being moved by gravitational fields. So that's what that means. So what that does is that puts another limit, an upper size limit on the size of the nucleus. We initially thought it could be anywhere from 1/4 mile across to 25 miles across. Well, now that limit's been extended upward a little bit. I think it's topping out around 30 miles across and maybe 15 miles across at the low end. So that's shifted upward a little bit. It's not outrageous. It's not unheard of, but it is a different value based on the inability or the resistance to gravitational fields trying to tug on it.
Wasn't there some idle speculation that the anti-tail that 3i Atlas was putting out. Some people are saying, well, that's like a braking rocket. That's why it's changing course.
Yeah, I think that I think what they'll find with that is that we're looking at material that is outgassing from the comet. However, and I'm kind of wondering why they're saying this way. It may also be that we're looking at the tail of the comet in a projection. So in other words, we're seeing the tail of the comet and it is behind it, but as the comet's curving on its trajectory into the solar system, it's out around Jupiter now, maybe getting a little closer toward Mars. It's actually, as it's curving, that tail looks like it could be along the path of its motion. So it might be a perspective effect. I have to look into that too. But if there's outgassing, well, you know, it's not like if it's a more massive object, then it could outgas more stuff in front of it, and I think that's pretty cool. You know, so I think that I think we see a lot of this potential in this particular comet. And he says, this paper, he says, well, Curtis is saying, are they going to send a Juno probe? You know, it's around Jupiter now. I think that's the one we're talking about, right? Or is it the Europa Clipper that you're talking about, which is on its way to Jupiter? I don't think they're going to try and intercept it with that. I'm not sure. Otto says, how large was Shoemaker-Levy before it crashed into Jupiter? Well, a lot smaller because it broke apart. I don't remember its original size. Do you remember the original size of Shoemaker-Levy before it disintegrated?
No.
Okay.
Broke into
Meanwhile,
like 19 or more pieces, though.
Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah. In the times, cyanide, what I can think of, all the carbons in comets are, they fluorescent green.
Yeah. And that
Carbon,
that
elemental carbon, cyanogen, cyanide.
yeah, the elemental
They'll,
carbon and molecules of carbon, they do have that green glow when they're actually fluorescing like that. So it could be that. All right, the green. I've never heard of a purple comet. You know, a purple cyanide. I haven't heard that before. I've only known
now?
this is. I didn't want to tell you right away, but I'm going to try and solve and move to it. It's right nearby.
Surprised me then.
Here it is. Okay. Yeah, this is the Wizard. This is the Wizard Nebula. Okay, so... Okay, the telescope's going to stabilize here. There we are. And now I'm going to redo this stuff here. And we're going to have plenty of stars to choose from here. Alright, and now we'll guide. As you can see, we just had wind blow it right there. Did you see that? It just moved a little.
Yeah.
There it goes again. Alright, so we'll give it a shot. So let's go to 250 on this one for our gain. The gain here and the exposure are the two most important. And for 25 seconds, we're going to shoot at a higher gain. And we're going to go into our low light mode. And I'm sorry, not our low light mode. We're going to go into our deep sky mode and start grabbing this data. And we'll hopefully the wind won't hurt us too much. But I want you to see this beautiful nebula out here. Okay, so we're here, and now we're going to see our first shot. Hey, look at that. Ta-da. Remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's a little noisy right now, but that's okay. We're going to color correct it. There we are.
Always makes me think of Uriah Heep.
Uriah Heep. You mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the second time we took a picture of the wizard. I took one the other night. Okay, there is the wizard. All right, and now what we're going to do, and we say wizard nebula, guys, it means a nebula that appears to look like a wizard. It's, of course, just the way it looks. All right, so now this object, I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop this down, okay, and bring this up a little bigger so we can just watch this grow. Now, the way it works is we should be stacking. I got to see how many images we're stacking here. Okay, we got 3 stacked now. And the rule of thumb, you can see the 3 up there, right here. Okay. The rule of thumb is that when you have, say, 4 stacked images like this, and I'll tell you what a stack is in a minute, the noise is half as much as when you have 2. It's like when you double the amount of images, you have the amount of noise, digital noise. All right. So in this particular case, as we're stacking, we're going to see more and more details show up as we see more and more of this noise back here get evened out as it goes. And that's what I love about this particular system, is it allows us to do that dynamic stacking. Okay, so, all right, NGC 7380, otherwise known as the Wizard Nebula. So I'm going to actually just label it Wizard because I know that's what it is. Okay. And we're done with that right there.
The scale with this camera and this telescope combination is so different that, I mean, I see the wizard, I don't see his hand yet, and I don't see the little
It's right
girl.
here. There's the hand, and this is the wizard's head up here. There's the hand. The little girl in the wizard's, I think, was right here, no? I don't see her fully yet. Well, let's do this. Let's over process to see if what's hiding. All right, that's what's hiding in the background.
I think that's the wizard's head. What you pointed out is the hand. The little girl
Up here?
is right about where your pointer was.
Over here. Well, this is
A little lower right of center, there's a little dark area, I want to say is where the girl
Right here?
is. Right, you're moving around a lot. Right in that general area, there's a little dark area right there.
right here, yeah, with the 2 stars
Right
in it.
there.
Okay. All right, so let me go back to normal processing, and then let's bring in our levels. This is the red, green, and blue curves, okay, of the image. You have RGB images. And the white curve is the average. And when we have a black level, we want to keep it just to the left of the peak, because this brings in too much stray noise that we don't want if we move to the left. Okay, but if we move to the right, the maximum dark space, theoretically, darkness will be at just about the peak. But I always stay just to the left because I've noticed subtle details can come in. And then the mid-level here, this is the one that's going to start bringing in detail. So as we do this, you'll start to see the image gets brighter and you see more detail showing up. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. All right, so, but it's a play. You got to play back and forth with this as time goes on. It'll get better. We can bring this line closer to here. If I bring it close now, well, you see all this noise in here. We don't like that noise. However, the more images we take, eventually we'll be able to bring it in there. All right. But I typically go to about 20 shots, and that's pretty much all we need. All right. So about here is good, and we'll watch it watch it fill in, and we'll see the noise disappear in here. This telescope.
The red is
Yeah.
something else in this.
Oh yeah, this camera is really good at that.
Yeah, I think he has sort of bell sleeves, like, big baggy wizard sleeves,
Yep.
and that's his arm cutting across with the. I don't see the baggy end of the sleeve so much. And then that dark area there, lower right is center, I think is the little girl. It's like he's holding his hand out to the girl.
Yeah.
Usually
Well-
his fingers look kind of splayed too at the end of the arm.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Well, this is a higher focal length, so it's filling the image and then some, so it might be throwing you off too. Might be better if we do this. If we shrink it down a little.
Yes, Donald, I see it. That's the cover art for the album.
What's he talking about?
Donald put up a link. I want to know if people could see it.
Oh, okay.
I see it. It's the cover art for the Uriah Heep album I mentioned.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to just save this with 17 so far, just to get it started, and we'll save it exactly as seen. Now where we are, we're up in the northern part of the Milky Way that we see during summer, and that's, if we back out a little bit, we're here. That's the zenith right now. Okay, as different from the pole, that's what's directly overhead. Okay, if we get rid of that and just put up the equatorial coordinates, then that's the North Pole down there. So right now, we're looking right here in the sky, which is higher in the sky. And then rising over here is the double cluster. And we have Cassiopeia right here. Now, for those of you that saw my earlier image that I took on Facebook, you might have seen it. Gamma Cass, our next target, is a beautiful nebula that's right around Gamma Cassiopeia, which I believe is what, Navi, I believe? Yeah, Navi. So there's a nebula right here that's really beautiful. We also have a starburst galaxy here. We have clusters of all kinds. Cassiopeia is a happening place. You know, and then this right here is the question mark nebula. We looked at that the other night. But with the moon out, dark nebula don't really work too well. All right, so we're stacking over here. We're still stacking. We've got now 21 stacked of this. And you can see the noise is starting to dwindle and get reabsorbed. If we just move this a little bit out of the way, a little down, we can see that the noise drops off quite a lot. And now we start to see the smoothness of this nebula. It's coming in beautifully. Yeah, and now we can overprocess this.
All right, I was a mile off. The dark area below center, close to bottom, that is his arm, and just right of center there is his hand. And then the
right there.
The little red area over
There's
on
the
the
girl.
far bottom right, that's the girl. I see it now.
Yeah,
Boy,
see.
the change in image scale really threw me off.
Yeah. This is the wizard's hat right here, guys. His face, maybe that's his nose. I don't know. Can't tell. Beard. Okay, here's one arm. Okay, right here with a hand. The hand is down here. And then here's the other hand. It's dark nebula, and you can see the fingers, so to speak. And then there's this little girl sitting here going, "Please don't take me, Mr. Wizard, no." But yeah, the image scale is much larger, so that's what I was mentioning. So it's harder to see.
I see it now.
Yeah, it looks good though, huh?
Sure.
We can see a lot more detail.
The red response on this really knocks my socks off.
It's beautiful. It's a really nice response. This is a good camera. It's a 533 MC Pro. Before anyone asks, just so you know. Marianne's with us. Laura Newbert's with us. Hi, Laura. Yeah. Yeah. Jessica S. is with us. Marianne, who is the CFO of the Sky Tour live stream nonprofit. Just want to let you know, Maddie gave us a contribution tonight, Marianne. Maddie Waddy. Which was very nice. And, you know, I've said this before, but I do emphasize any of your donations are tax deductible completely. All right. So I just wanted everybody to know that, so that you know that you can actually write off any contributions that you give to us. It's only fair, right? We are a nonprofit. I take no salary for what I'm doing. I do this because I want to. And everything you see, all the equipment you see, and everybody that participates, we're doing this. We're doing this because of our passion. Now, you can join Sky Tour Livestream if you haven't yet. It's free. You can join and get this picture. This picture right here. When I come in here and I hit save, all right, as you'll see, I hit save. Now the picture is saved as an astronomical file format. And then I'll save it exactly as seen. And this is the image, and I'll move it over because it's going to be in the way there. This is the image that's up on the server. All right. And it'll be up there in literally 30 seconds. There's the wizard with his hands. Okay. A little girl down there. That's what people see in there. That's not really a wizard, but you know. All right, but this image is up there on skytourlive.org. You can go up and say, take me to cool pictures. I want to see some cool pictures. I want cool pictures. And you can download this image right now and enjoy it. If you want fully processed stuff, then you could join our Patreon if you like. You can go to our Etsy store and get some of our images on everything from socks to mouse pads to cups and mugs. Really cool stuff there. And if you really want to get the full Monty of all of our images, then you could join some of our upper tiers in the Patreon if you like. And like I said, we take none of this for ourselves. All the money gets turned right back into making sure that we deliver a quality stream, because there's nobody doing what we're doing on the internet. Yeah, there's people streaming their telescopes, yep. But you don't get an astronomer, okay, a pair of astronomers, and Daryl and I, you don't get the images for free 30 seconds later. And so this is something that's, I don't know, it should have million subscribers. Instead, we're just under 10,000. Happy about that, though. Because I remember the day when I had 100. Said, wow, 100 subscribers. Very cool. Marianne says, oh, I can see the wizard now that Daryl pointed it out. That's cool. Yep.
Marianne, do you see the little girl down in the bottom right? The little red
That'll
cloud?
be right here.
Yeah. It's like he's holding out his arms toward her.
Like, come to me, little girl. Want some candy? really scary. All right, I'm going to, with 35 frames taken, I'm going to redock this here. And I'll bring this down a little bit so we can see it. Right, I'll save it with 36 images. And save exactly as seen. Ta-da! Look at that. That's beautiful. Okay.
Mark,
So-
Marianne wants you to show the new T-shirt design.
Oh, that's a good idea. I have it too. Our new T-shirts are really cool. I'm actually wearing one. Let me see if I can. Well, you won't be able to see it too well, but my shirt says skytourlive.org on the front, but on the back it says I need my space, and it shows all the planets, including Pluto. That's right. Pluto is a planet in my view. I tell a story. I knew Clyde Tombaugh, the man who found Pluto. And he and I were sitting on a grassy knoll in Vermont at a conference where we were together. And it was really cool to hear his perspective on finding Pluto. And he wasn't even an astronomer. He was just a worker at the observatory who got time on the telescopes and time with a blink comparator, actually, and was able to blink the images back and forth until he could actually see that he was looking at a planet. Very, very cool stuff.
Well, he was an
Tony Lowe,
amateur
how you doing?
astronomer before he got hired. He impressed somebody. He wrote him a letter or sent him drawings he had done, and they
Yeah.
hired him, and it all goes from there.
That's
I have a
right.
suggestion for another T-shirt.
Okay.
Astronomers love heavenly bodies.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's cute. That's a good one, no doubt about it. All
I
right,
break
let
for
me,
black holes.
That's right.
I break for naked singularities.
I'm
Getting
sure
a little
there's an
racy
audience
here.
for all of those. There is an audience for all of those. All right, I'm trying to locate this in the middle of doing all these other things. Had I thought about it, I should have done it before. But let me. Okay, let me come over here. Okay, we are going to save this one last time.
Look, that's a cool
And-
picture.
It's very nice, yeah. And it looks, the whole picture is here. Let me scroll it up a little bit. That's the whole picture.
I remember
All right.
when you put this camera on just as a stopgap measure, and you didn't seem very happy with it at first.
Well, I wasn't
I
sure.
think-
You're right.
Yeah, I think it's making some really nice images and gives some
It
different
is.
looks at stuff that we've seen before.
Oh, it certainly is. Certainly is. We're getting a little wind out there right now, I can see. All right. I gotta do one thing. I'm gonna just try something here. That's not what I wanted. Okay, I want to do this. I want to be able to show this image that Marianne is talking about because it actually is pretty cool. Very, very cool, yeah. Yeah, here we go. Let me see this. Here it is. All right. Let me see if I can size it. There we go. All right. I'm going to try and show this to you now, okay? And I should be able to do it. I should. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. I'm going to add a window capture here. And it's that one, okay. And a new one. Just a moment, guys. I'll be right back with you. And now the window we want is That guy. Hey, all right, we did it. Look at that. Okay, yeah, this is our new shirt, right? It says, let me yeah, it has the logo here, and it says, "I need my space," and you'll notice Pluto is in it. That's right, and don't you forget it. So if anybody wants one of these shirts, all you have to do is go to skytourlive.org, and at skytourlive.org you can go into our contact form, and you can leave us a message. And so skytourlive.org, leave a message in our contact form with your size, and if you give us it's a $25 donation, and one of these shirts is yours. All right. We just had a 1XL go out today. I have I think a medium or a large on right now, and I swim in it, so it's actually a little big for me. So neat. So if you're interested in that, that'd be very cool. I would think that'd be a lot of fun, and you could support us if you wish. But anyway, there you go. I just thought I would share that with you, and I want to thank you for your kind attention. Commercial over. Let's go find something else to look at, shall we? Excellent. So now we're over there, so we're going to go down here to this location right here, the Gamma Cast Nebula. This is really a beautiful nebula. It's also appropriate for today, right now. Believe it or not, it's October 1st, right now, here where I am, because it's midnight plus 14 minutes. Okay, so we're going to head on over into this location, and we're going to go check out Navi and the Gamma Cast Nebula. There goes Navi. And so now I want to make sure that we are on the nebula directly. So to do that, I'm going to just do this little calibration adjustment and see if it moves much. Didn't go far. That's good. Okay. All right, so there we go. So now we're locked in. Stars look pretty good. I'm going to take a quick 20-second photo here and see what it looks like. I'm going to expect to see something right here. If it's there, that's perfect. If it's not, then I'll move it. But I think it's going to be right here. It's going to look like a strange ghost. It's also called the Ghost Nebula, which is perfect for Halloween coming up. There it is. It's right there. And you see that we had some noise, but we're actually not guiding right now. So I will now set the guider going as well. All right. So I'll come back and do the time. But this is the Gamma Cast Nebula, and it's really cool. All right, and we're getting plenty of stars to guide on here, so I'm just going to grab one. That's a perfect star to guide on right there. Okay, and now we're going to do a 250. We're going to do a I'm going to do 40 seconds. Yeah. All right. And so, what's that?
Oh, I was going to answer James Dugan.
Oh, sure.
James, there is a cartoon out there. It shows Neil deGrasse Tyson and the planet Pluto. I've asked Mark to show it before, but it's rather off color, so he won't do it. Neil deGrasse Tyson is going, Pluto is not a planet. And Pluto says, well, you're no Carl Sagan. And from there it devolves to certain hand gestures, which I can't get into. They're sort of waving at each other.
Yeah. Okay, so here is our first photo, the noisiest one. All right, and I will color correct it first, And then I will see where it thinks we want to go. It wants to go here. But actually, where we really want to go is bring this up here. And as I mentioned, this guy needs to be brought way down here, at least to start with. And I can actually get this brought out a little more. So this is the Gamma Cast Nebula. This is also known as the Ghost Nebula. And above here is another gigantic blue, beautiful nebula up top. And it makes up the entire Gamma Cast region. All right, now this particular nebula, I should probably move it over a little. I've only done 2. I
Mark,
should probably move it over.
excuse me a moment, please.
Sure.
Be right back.
Okay. I'm going to move it over a little bit, guys. Sorry. I actually want to move this over to center it up a little better. So I'm going to do that. Thanks for sticking with us, guys, tonight. It's a lot of fun having you with us. Yeah. Guiding will be done again. Not a problem. All right. That should be good. Maybe one more jog. Okay. That's good. Okay, so now we'll be able to catch this again. All right. And again, we'll do we don't need 40. We'll do 35 seconds now. I think that's more than enough as it turns out. 35 seconds, and now we'll go into deep sky mode and watch it develop. It's fun watching it develop. Okay. And first thing I will do is, second thing I'll do is grab a guide star. I'm going to redo the stars here. Okay, and now grab the star. Here we are. Perfect. Now let's see if that first one came in. If it didn't, we'll just get rid of it. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy. Perfect placement, though. I wanted to see that. Good. So you'll see this in just a sec. Nice. All right, so Michael Hedrick has a question. What causes one quasar to wobble more or faster than another? Interesting question. And as far as quasars go, these are very, very active objects. So their morphology and how they've developed depends entirely on how they existed in the previous 100 million to a billion years. So they may have some type of motion imparted by gravitational interactions with something else, or by powerful radio jets of energy that they give off, and all of that can cause some change to their motion and so forth. And so quasars can look very, very different from each other. So they're fascinating objects, honestly, but I think that they can be very different from each other. As we've seen, I mean, there was one of the most famous ones is 3C273. And if we looked at a quasar with our telescope, you'd be kind of disappointed, because it just kind of looks like a fuzzy object, fuzzy round object. It doesn't have any structure to it that you can tell. All the structure in a quasi-stellar object is what that stands for, is in different wavelengths than we normally see in the radio frequencies and the X-ray frequencies. That's where we see the really different stuff going on in a quasi-stellar object like that.
Isn't there one quasar visible to amateurs? 3C273, I want to say.
I just mentioned that. I think you might have been off doing
Yeah,
something.
I just got back.
Yeah, 3C273 is the one that I was mentioning because of that.
Hmm.
Although I didn't specify that amateurs can see it.
I think they can.
Well, I think they can. I'm just saying I didn't say that. I didn't mention that. Okay, color correction. And now what happens with our telescope when the moon's out is that we get a little overabundance of red in our image. So I just sort of corrected that a little bit. Yeah.
I like the red.
Yeah,
Seems like you get a
the
lot
red's
more.
nice.
Seems like you get more red stars too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you're saying the moon's at least part of the reason for that?
Yeah, it's part of the. Yeah, it is. Just a little bit. Yeah. I also want to thank Renee Behrens, who has donated to us. That's very kind. Thank you, Renee. She may be watching, but she's not typing anything in the chat. That's very generous. Thank you, Renee. And we also got a new mail sign up right now as we speak, which is good. Oh, it's Renee. Okay, good. Well, thank you, Renee. If you're listening,
Thank you, Renee.
yeah, if you're listening, thank you. Robert E. Waters says, I believe there's a nebula involving that hand gesture that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty. Again, we also, one of the problems too when the moon is out is it tends to muddy our images a tiny bit. And the images are not quite as pretty as when the moon is not out. But you can see in here, you can start to see some blue in here and some red. And now the star Navi is about here. Okay, that's the star that is gamma cast. It's about here in the view, okay, or so. And it's responsible for causing this hydrogen gas to glow like this. And the blue light that's here and above that you can't see, it's out here above this, way up there. That blue light is dust particles that are out here, just light years in size dust clouds that are scattering the blue light from Navi, the star, the gamma cast star. So we see a lot of this in the universe. The main colors of the universe are blue, red, and teal green. Those are the main colors of the universe.
You have an extremely red object down there at the bottom right.
This is a star, and that's a star too. I think I'm not sure. Let me do this. Let me drop the color down a bit.
Would stellarium tell us anything?
Absolutely.
I mean, that one sucker's really well. There you go.
I wonder if this might be a carbon star.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Let's go see. All right, so let's now. By the way, before we had color cameras, right? This is what this nebula would look like, and we wouldn't know what color it was. And with the advent of color and the ability to have proper response with these cameras, we can see a really sharp red leading edge here. That's an area of denser hydrogen gas, and then it's mixed with dust here, so the dust is muting some of that red from the hydrogen glow here. And what I'll do is...
in the days of black and white film, I mean, they did have red sensitive and blue sensitive emulsions, didn't they? Where
yep.
They would shoot
103. Yeah, I did. 103 AO I used. And I believe that was a red sensitive emulsion, but somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't used film in decades. I was actually one of the one of the first astronomy people in my university circles to go all digital, because I knew the future was all digital. Really happy about that. Okay, let's go to Stellarium for a minute, and let's go see. Let's zoom in here. It may not have that data in here actually, as I'm thinking about it, because there is this, and there's Navi, as I said, just off the frame. Let's do this. Let's put in our view. Okay, that's our view right now.
All right.
Right.
Your view is rotated about 90 degrees to Stellarium.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, what's interesting is it's right, but the top should be here, and they're on the wrong side here. But we don't see all the stars that we should see in here.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Maybe this, let's see. Actually, it's going to be maybe... Okay, this star here is that star there. And we don't see these stars here because Stellarium doesn't have those. I could download that database and put that in, but then Stellarium becomes really slow.
Yeah.
Look
It's just
at this
idle
now.
curiosity.
Yeah, look at this now. Now we have a little more detail. We can see detail in here now. That's really pretty. Very nice. I can drop that down a little bit and pull this
Curtis
back
Horn
a
has a
little.
question for you.
Okay. Hey, Curtis. Curtis says, did the standard model ever resolve the QFT vacuum catastrophe due to dark energy? Or is that still an open problem? I don't think it's been resolved, Curtis, and I haven't been following it close enough to know. But hopefully you and I get a chance to talk about it. Maybe you, I think you're going to be at Contact in the Desert this year, correct? And if you are, we should get together and talk about it. Talk about everything, because, man, we could just go for days. All right, so let me look at this here, and okay, we're at 17 here. All right. Okay, we got that down there. Those stars are very red. I bet you that's a carbon star right there, Daryl.
Uh-huh.
Now, when people want to know what a carbon star is, carbon stars are stars that are outrageously red. Okay, and the reason that they're so red has to do with the size of the star, because the farther out the extents of the star, the cooler it is, and the cooler it is out there, the more you can have certain molecules of carbon. You can have carbon molecules where carbon atoms are attached to each other, and they act like soot, and you end up reddening the star's light very, very dramatically. And you get this carbon brought up through a process called dredge up, and that's part of stellar evolution. If I ever do a talk or a class on stellar evolution, then we'll explain that more fully, and you'll be like, whoa, you know. but there's several dredge ups. Okay, there's a first and second dredge up in a star, where it dredges these atoms and these nuclei rather from inside the star's interior and brings them up near the surface. And some of those, they're all isotopes. Some of them are going to be carbon atoms and carbon isotopes. All right, and there'll be a certain ratio of carbon atoms to nitrogen isotopes, carbon isotopes to nitrogen isotopes, and that's pretty interesting as well. And so it's really fun to dig into this. I remember as one of the processes I did in astronomy was I literally created a star. Now, the star was modeled after Ivan Novotny's stellar atmospheres textbook, and some of the calculations of the stellar atmosphere were from her book. And Ivan Novotny was just an incredible person. And so the book Stellar Atmospheres, you can't go a paragraph without seeing a very, very elaborate equation for what's going on in the radiative envelope of a star versus the convective envelope of a star. Convective envelope, think of a hot pan boiling on the stove. It boils and the bottom stuff gets dredged up to the top and so forth. Well, dredge up is a process like that, where the convective process brings stuff from deep in the star's interior up to the surface. And in red giants, we see that happening. And so in modeling the star, oh good, we got 23 shots here. In modeling the star, I was able to show at the points where this dredging of material would occur, able to show how the star's dynamics changed as it evolved. I mean, it's hard to get everything perfectly right, in a star. There's so much going on, and we had to approximate a good deal of it, Let me just bring this back, say, hey, look, it's me again, and that blue light is actually behind me over my head. So how about if I sit up in my seat and get rid of that? Anyway, really cool stuff. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Isn't there a well-known carbon star in this area, this neighborhood? What am I thinking of?
You're
Herschel
thinking
Garnet
of
Star?
the Garnet Star, isn't that Mu Cephei? Because Mu Cephei's a big star. Yeah.
It could be. I know the Garnet Star, Herschel's Garnet Star.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, we're right next door to
Okay.
it. Maybe when you're down here,
we-
we can go take a look.
Sure. Well, there's WZ Cassiopeia. That's a most famous carbon star in there, and it's a very luminous giant with a significant amount of carbon in its outer atmosphere. Again, from this process, I've kind of done a very poor job of really elucidating, because it's hard to really talk about that stuff without giving so much other background,
Yes, Herschel's Garnet Star is Mu Cephei.
Okay. All right. We also have W Cassiopeia. Let's try this. Let's go here and let's do a search and see. Oh, wait a minute. Let's bring this over. There we go. All right. Now let's see if WZ Cassiopeia is in here. That's not what I wanted. Ah, look at that. It is. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we'll go check that out right after this. We'll be right back after these words. Okay, you notice we're down here. We're going to be coming up a little higher. So that'd be kind of cool. All right, so we have 29. We're going to go to 30, and then we'll stop here. Note the blue is so much brighter now, guys. See, it takes stacking exposures on each other to get rid of that noise to start to show subtle differences, and that's what we're doing here. All right. And we can bring this in a little more now just to show you. You can really see the blue now in here. So you see this beautiful red and blue. It's gorgeous. Okay, we're going to save this one more time. Save it exactly as seen. All right. And there we go. And now we're done with that. And now, per Daryl's suggestion about the carbon star, WZ Cass, which is right in this same constellation, we're going to go check that out because it's just a little bit north. And there's no mistaking if it's in the field. All right, here we go. Look for the red star. Oh, can't miss it. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. All right, so we're gonna move the telescope field up a little bit. Put this right in the center. All right, so this star, rather nondescript star, red, has molecules in its outer atmosphere of carbon, and in a star, usually the star's envelope is completely ionized, and you only have stellar nuclei or atomic nuclei in the envelope. But in a case like this, this star is gigantic. Think stars like Antares and Betelgeuse. They're so big that if you put them where the sun is, they'd extend all the way out to Jupiter's orbit almost. So out there, the outer environment of the star isn't nearly as hot. By millions of times, it's cooler than the core of the star. So we can find that at that location, the temperature might be cool enough to actually allow molecules to form. And in these stars, because of the carbon that's dredged up from the interior, the carbon isotopes, it's like soot, like I mentioned. And so it ends up piling up outside the star, making it look very red. Let's actually take a quick shot of this. Let's get a redo on this. Let's grab a star and we'll guide on it. All right. Now let's just take a nice photo of this region just to show you what this actually looks like. And this just has to be like a 12-second shot. Doesn't even have to be very long. All right, we'll go into our deep sky mode now. All right. And now you're going to see this carbon star, WZ Cass. Okay, there it is. All right, and yeah, it's pretty bright. And we got to look and see what this star is too. Let me also, I'm going to color correct, and we're going to change our values here just a little bit. Okay, that's a really, really red star. Really, really red. And this other one is also pretty red. I'm going to look and see what its type is. Let's see if we got that in here. We should. Okay. All right, so we should see another. This is it right here, I think. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. All right, so that's the star. All right, and what's interesting is stellarium does not have a label for it. This one it does. It's WZ Cass, also known as Hipparchus 99, Henry Draper Catalog HD 224855, and the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory Catalog 21002. So pretty interesting. All right. So now, get rid of this.
When we're done here, can we go check out Cassiopeia,
Yeah.
the Garnet Star?
Yep. It's beautiful.
I have some interesting information on it.
All right. Cool. All right. So, we'll just do 10. There we go. And then I'll save. Actually, I didn't mean to save it there. That was a mistake. I'll go through this process of fixing this. Okay. Interesting. It doesn't. All right. So it doesn't know this in the catalog. So this is okay. I will make the change. And it's a carbon star. Alright, and then it's going to complain. Yes, I know. Okay, then we'll save it again. And we'll save it exactly as seen. Alright. So that's the carbon star. Let's now go look at a very, very large giant star called Muscifi, otherwise known as the Garnet Star. And the Garnet Star is another beautiful star, and it's in the region of what's called the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. I think it's known as Garnet Star. Here. Okay, so there it is. Right there. Let's back out, see where it is. Relatively speaking, it's fairly high in the sky. So, let's go check it out. And then while we're there, we'll go check out Elephant's Trunk.
I was surprised when I looked up Herschel's Garnet Star. I see no mention of it being a carbon star. It is extremely red.
Yeah.
It's also one of the largest stars we know of. It is.
Yeah.
It makes the sun, our sun, look like a pinprick by comparison, and it's
Very much so.
very close to going to supernova.
Yep. There
A
it is.
very old star.
Yeah. Muscifi. It's in the Cephus, or Cepheus, depending on how you pronounce it, if you wish. And even when we drop out our processing, you can still see it. It's a very, very large star. Let's do, in contrast to the other star, let's do a 12-second photo of this one. And stack that and check out what that looks like now. I'll just get rid of the image if it doesn't work here. We're going to guide on that. Look at that. Now that's a carbon star, or a bright red star. So, yeah, really neat. So Garnet Stars, this Garnet Star is not a carbon star, okay? But it is very red like a carbon star, okay? But it is in a late stage. Oh, look at that. So we got wind. So I'm going to unstack that and see if it goes back. Yeah, okay. It's in late stage of evolution, and it is a red supergiant star. And as a red supergiant, okay, we lost the lock. As Daryl says, it. Oh yeah, we did. The wind blew us up right out of the view. It actually
100,000 times brighter than the sun.
Yeah,
Also, one of the
that's
largest
a
stars
lot.
known, with a radius over 1,000 times that of the Sun. Were it placed in the Sun's position, it would engulf the orbits of Mars and Jupiter.
Yeah, that's a big star. Okay, try again. All right, so hard to believe when you look at a star like this that it has that kind of volume within it, but it does. It makes no sense to talk about the volume of the star as how many Earths could be contained within it. And it almost makes no sense to say the volume of Jupiter's could be contained within it. You should say the volumes of our suns that could be kept within it. And I think that number is pretty astronomical in itself. So
Michael Hedrick, I don't know offhand how many AU.
what's he asking? The size of the star?
Yeah, in astronomical units.
Oh, okay. I'll get that information. Now, when I talked about putting the suns inside of Mu Cephei, are you ready for the number, guys? 2.7 billion with a B, as in Bravo. 2.7 billion suns can fit inside this star. How about that? Based on volume. All right. So its size isn't precisely known, but we know enough to know that if we take the 4/3 pi r cubed, which is the volume of a sphere, take the volume of what we think this is, and take the volume of the sun, and divide them together, you can actually get the number of suns that would fit inside Mu Cephei, and that number turns out to be 2.7 billion. Actually, 2,406,104,000 is the exact number. So that's a lot of suns that can fit inside another star. Isn't that crazy? That is just amazing, and that's why I love astronomy. Hey JSCO, I don't think I said hi to you. How you doing? Sally Forth's head just blew up. You can see that down the bottom. It just went and blew up. That was the end of it. Okay, let's go and see. It will know the carbon star. Okay, it'll know Mu Cephei. So what I'll do is I will change our target to that. I'm going to save the image with annotations. Okay, and then I will come out of here, save this, and save it as a PNG file that you can download and check out, which is really cool. Let me see if I get a color correction, that might be a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. So we'll save it again, exactly as seen. All right, and that PNG file is there. Good. All right. Nice. So from here, we're a hop, skip, and a jump from another object, which is really interesting. And it's a stellar nursery that this is actually in the vicinity of, in the sky. Now, Mu Cephei's distance from us isn't precisely known, but it's something on the order of 5,900 light years, I guess. Maybe 6,000 light years away. And the elephant's trunk right here is a distance of about, let's see if that's at 1,500 or 15,000. Yeah, 1,500. Yeah, 1,565.8 light years. All right, so these two are, vastly different distances. This star here, okay, oops, sorry, messed that up. Mu Cephei is actually much further away, but it's much more luminous.
Say that again.
I'm trying to get Mu Cephei back in here. Here it is. Mu Cephei was about 6,000 light years away. And the Elephant's Trunk Nebula, all right, is a distance of about 1,565 light years away.
Okay.
So this is much closer to us than this star right here, which is further through that cloud into the distance. Okay, so we're going to go now to this location, the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. We're actually going to go to the Elephant's Trunk itself, which is right here. So we're going to do that now. We're going to tell it to go to this location in the sky. And yeah, so you know. All right. So what I want to do is do a quick 15-second photo placement, and then move us. I recognize these two stars, and you can see some detail in here already. But we want to get the right shot. Yeah, it's right there in the middle. Okay. I'm going to move it over a little bit more. All right, so we're going to go this way. Oops, I meant to do this. We're going to go this way. All right. One more click up there. And then this way. One more click there. Okay, that may do it. All right, so now we'll have the Elephant's Trunk piece right here in the middle, and we'll go get our guide star and keep going. All right, let's brighten the image up a little and guide away. Curtis Horn, are you asking about Mu Cephei's diameter?
I think so. That's why I pasted the link in the
You put
chat. You can look it up. I think it's like about 1,000 times the size of the sun.
That's about 2 billion kilometers in diameter. That's pretty big. 2 billion kilometers. JSCO 77 says, Mark, is there more? Do you have a question? It's okay if you don't. All right. We're guiding here, so I'm going to come in here now. And I'm going to do a 30-second shot here at 250 gain. We're going to go into the deep sky mode and capture the Elephant's Trunk. This is a region of sky where there's lots and lots of dark nebula, dark dust. The result of stars like Mu Cephei going supernova, scattering dust to the cosmos, and carbon stars that scatter this dust out to the interstellar medium as well. Okay, so there it is. Now, it's right here, and now you say, well, I don't see it. And you're right, but we have to just give it a chance to develop. It's like a fine wine. It has to develop. Let's do you can start to see this rim here. It'll be very bright in a little while. You just have to let it build up and get rid of the noise.
I think I've said before that the area in the sky of the constellation Cepheus, I can see a picture over at APOD or places and have a fair notion of if it's in Cepheus or not, just by how dusty all the pictures are in that area.
Yeah.
Lots of dust and dark nebulosity. Has a rather the look is kind of typical for that area.
Yep. We have a similar typical look for Orion and the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex. The OMCC. It has its own characteristic look as well with its dust. And that's about 1,500 light years from us. Like this. This is about 1,500 light years from us too. Okay, let's
if you look at
do this.
if you look at Cygnus, say Denman Cygnus, you're looking about 90 degrees away from the center of our galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cepheus is above Cygnus, next to Cassiopeia, and so you're looking even farther out
Toward
from
the
center of the
Perseus arm of the
galaxy.
galaxy.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the Milky Way, from Sagittarius all the way up to Cassiopeia and into Orion, you're looking at 6 different spiral arms along the way. We're not seeing all the same spiral arms. We can't even see all the spiral arms in our galaxy because they're blocked by the dust looking through the center of our galaxy to the other spiral arms. There's parts of our galaxy we've never seen before. It's like you being in the forest. If you look up into the sky, all right, or at a distant mountain, you can see and count all the trees in that distant hill, but you can't count all the trees around you because the forest is just pretty dense around you, and it blocks your view of all the rest of those trees. But if you can see a mountain in the distance, you can count the trees on the mountainside. So your view from a distance is far better than your view from within, and that holds true for galaxies. Go ahead.
That area we can't see past, you mentioned, I mean, that's what they call the zone of avoidance, right?
Yeah, I've heard that term many times, and I've never actually had a good definition of the zone of avoidance. I know the void. We have a void. We have the Booty's void. But we do know about the one we can see through. That's Bod's window in Sagittarius. Right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, was that, I mean, that's where you can't see the forest or the trees. You're basically, you're sort of looking along the plane of the Milky Way. You can't see what's behind it because there's too much dust.
Well, there's also a high star density in the zone of avoidance. So the high star density coupled with that interstellar dust blocks view further out, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to point out something here, guys. We have enough images captured to show this. Okay, this is the thing called the elephant's trunk. It's a dark, dusty trail, okay, that formed here out in this particular location. It's part of a giant complex that's out here, and this trail is interesting, and I'll tell you why. Because it actually has something really cool happening, and I'm gonna show you that in just a sec. If you look at the end of it, you see this star, and then you see this star here, and you see sort of a glow there. That's kind of neat, and I'll tell you what that's all about. Okay, first of all, if we look at this closely, okay, that area right there it's like a hollowed out area. See it? That's hollowed out in there. And how is it hollowed out? It's hollowed out by those stars, that star. Now, as the stars as they flow with their stellar winds pushing outward, they tend to push away dust around them and gas. They clear what we call a cavity, right? So this is a cavity that has been formed around inside this nebula. So this star has blown open this area right here. And so right here you have this glow. There's a little bit of ionized hydrogen on the wall here that's showing through. We see some also, if we look down here, we see it all here and all around the edge. Okay, now why is it looking like it's edge lit like this? That's because it's got hydrogen being ionized all throughout this region, but there's a density of dust that overwhelms the hydrogen in this location. So as the dust tapers off, well, the hydrogen can now be seen, and so we see that hydrogen showing through right here. But this is the cavity, and as this image develops, you'll see this cavity even more pronounced. I just wanted to jump into the shot and show you that. Hope you didn't mind.
That's similar to the rosette we see in
Yes.
Monoceros.
Yep. When we look at the rosette in the wintertime in Monoceros, we're going to see that very thing. We're going to see the rosette. It's even more pronounced. Now, when we looked at the wild duck cluster earlier, Measure 11, you notice there wasn't any of the gas and dust around it. So where was it? It was undoubtedly formed in a nebula, so where'd the dust go? Well, those stars, over time, managed to push away all of the dust around them. All right? And so that cluster, having pushed away all that dust around them, basically left the cluster looking like it was alone out in the sky. Okay? And that's how that works. So let's do this now. Let's work on this. Let's see if we got this. Okay. It doesn't know this, so we'll actually put it in. This is the effluence trunk.
And the part over on the right is called the caravan.
Yeah, and that's not quite in the view yet. If I move this further to the left, we would see it, but I really want to focus on this here.
Right. Well, that's that image scale thing again.
Yeah. Let's bring this up here. Now, see, we do this, and you can see this blue nebula now coming in, and the blue nebula here and here. So, sorry, Daryl, I'll let you in a moment. So, this dust that's in here is doing that scattering process we talked about before. It's called Rayleigh scattering. And that dust is actually forming this blue lit area because it's scattering the light from the hot stars in this region. And you can see very clearly how this star is actually causing the illumination of this dust around it right here. The star looks fuzzy for that reason. Pretty cool. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Daryl.
Well, you mentioned the wild duck cluster. I assume the same thing would go for, the double cluster, for instance, in Perseus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a reflection of their ages, too, of course. This is a relatively young object, I would guess, compared to the double cluster or the wild duck.
Yeah. Well,
it's younger. It hadn't blown all the dust and gas out yet.
yeah. Well, they talk about the possibility that the double cluster, which are two beautiful clusters right next to each other, are about 6 million years old. So they're well, actually, in the past it was thought that maybe these stars were 12 to 14 million years old. It may be that they're more like 6 million years old. So that's something that we have to consider. Now, as far as the age of the elephant's trunk, I don't I don't know if we've actually been able to figure that out. It's a very young stellar nursery. Probably, what you're looking at here is probably less than 100,000 years old, maybe 110,000 years old. So this region is relatively young, all right? So as you can see, it's so young, it hasn't, the stars in this region haven't had time to push this material away yet, all right? So that's why we're looking at these. So when you see nebulae like this, with this kind of complexity, you're probably looking at a young stellar nursery. Okay. When we get to the double cluster in a few minutes, we'll notice that the double cluster, besides not fitting in our view, is also going to be a cluster of stars that doesn't have any gas and dust around it. So it's been around for a little longer, I would say. Right? Because we're talking about stars that may be anywhere from 5 to 10 million years old. Okay? And now we're talking about this cluster here, which is only 100,000 years old. Okay, this is stellar nursery. So comparatively, the double cluster has had time to force all the gas and dust away, leaving an isolated cluster in space. Now, the double cluster, or these two clusters near each other, but they're actually one's much closer to us and one is farther away. So the way I have my hands here, one cluster is larger and one cluster is smaller, and this one is farther away. We've gone through this and looked at the numbers before to see the distances of these clusters. All right, let me, we got 24 of these here. I'm going to see if I can pull out any more detail. Yeah, you can see now this is starting to show some detail. Let me do a color correction here. That might help us too. All right, you can see now. One thing I'm going to do. What's that? Oh, sorry.
I coughed. Pardon me.
Oh, okay, no problem. All right, I added unsharp mask to add the detail. You can see the filamentary detail in this now showing up. We have 25 shots, and that's good for the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. We now know, in talking, that the Elephant's Trunk has these two stars in here. This one star in particular has cleared this opening here within the nebula and caused what we call this cavity. All right, so we're good there. Now, I want to take us to the other object, also down near Cassiopeia, but it's actually a little bit further along in Perseus. Okay, and let me take this and stop it. Come here and pull out this a bit, and let's go now to look in Cassiopeia. Let me back out of here. Go here. And now we're going to go and check out this, the double cluster. Now, when we center it up, the double cluster, as you can see, it's going to only have the center part of the double cluster in there. We're not even going to get all the stars of just one side in here. It's pretty amazing. Oh, it looks like we got some clouds passing through. I think I just saw clouds. Let's go look. All right, let's refresh. This is there. I saw clouds up in the north up here. They're up here. I just saw a cloud, a wispy cloud, pass over the Cepheus region there where we're looking at this. But it's okay. It's clear enough. Okay, so let's go now and check out the double cluster. We're going to be here, and we're going to head there right now.
You can see even in the stellarium view there, the other member of the double cluster the one below the red box, you can see a number of reddish stars in that one,
Yeah.
which is a reflection of the age of the cluster. Stars in the cluster all formed about the same time,
Yeah.
and you'd think they'd all be similar type, and that some have turned red is a sign of the aging of the cluster.
Mm-hmm.
That some stars are going off the main sequence, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, that's true. And the main sequence, for those who don't know, all stars start their life fusing hydrogen into helium. It's the very most basic form of fusion. The main energy generation mechanism of stars is that, and that's called a main sequence, on which all the stars that are actually fusing hydrogen into helium normally, like they typically do, will be on this snaky line that we see on a diagram of color along the bottom with brightness along the left side, brightness up and color along the bottom. And that snaky line, found by Esnar Hertzsprung and Henry Norris Russell, was this thing called the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, and that snaky line became known as the main sequence. All right, and so that's what we're looking at, and that's what Daryl's talking about when he talks about the main sequence. All right, we're gonna center up on this cluster now. It shouldn't move very much. There it is. Okay, and we're also going to do a refocus on here as well. All right, so let's do that. Yeah, that's actually better. I don't think I have to refocus. I think I just have to tweak it a bit. All right, so here's the center of the first component cluster. And what we can do is pick a star, any star, and start guiding on it. And while we're guiding, we can come back here and let's do a 20-second photo of this, and watch for any red stars, okay, because that will show stellar evolution in the process. Okay, so we'll live stack this.
Now, when you see the red stars in a cluster like we're talking about, they're leaving the main sequence because they're moving away from fusing hydrogen. They're getting into where they're fusing later stage elements, and they're moving off the main sequence. They're turning into red giant stars, I guess.
Yeah, and what happens is when they run out of hydrogen, as all stars will, our sun included, not for about 5 billion years though, so we're good. And when they run out of hydrogen, what happens is gravity starts winning the battle to try to crush the star, because the radiative outward pressure equals the gravitational tugging or the gravitational collapse that is trying to bring that star down, toward the core again. And as that radiative outflow ceases because hydrogen slows down and wanes, well, then what happens is the star tries to collapse and the core starts to collapse. And as the core gets smaller and smaller and smaller, you're packing a lot of energy into a tighter and tighter space, and so it gets incredibly hotter. And that heat, that immense heat energy, generates an outflow that pushes the outer layers of the star out, making it into a red giant. And that's the first time it becomes a red giant. It becomes a red giant again later. But when it becomes a red giant for the first time, it reaches a stage where something happens in that core where the temperature reaches over 100 million Celsius. Now, to fuse hydrogen to helium, you need about 15 million Celsius. Okay? And so to start fusing the next element, helium, into carbon, okay, you need to get 100 million Celsius in there. So, as that core collapses, the star gets bigger into a red giant, and then something amazing happens. The star begins to fuse helium in the process called the helium flash. And when that happens, now the star has a new life, effectively, because the star begins to shrink down a little bit again, may change its color, may go from red to more of an orange, maybe even a yellow for a period of time. And then after the helium runs out, the star's core collapses again, and it begins going up again to a second red giant stage, this time becoming potentially a supergiant depending on its mass. And it begins to fuse other material around the core in shells, right? If it's a really massive star, you can get an onion skin of layers all doing fusion of different elements all the way up to iron, which is number 26 in the periodic table. And the iron will actually cause it'll be like it's sticking in the throat of the star. It can't actually go beyond iron. It has to do with energy levels and what it takes to make things fuse. Iron can't fuse in any stars beyond what it is during the normal stellar processes. During a supernova, though, it can make heavier elements than iron, and it does. And massive stars, you also get silicon being made in a massive star, and that's the last element to be made in a star before it goes supernova. And silicon, believe it or not, all the silicon in our universe comes from stars that only make it for one day out of their billions or hundreds of, tens of millions of years is how old these types of stars, these massive stars, can live. And out of all those millions of years, silicon is made in only one day. So silicon is rather rare in the universe in terms of its abundance, because it's only made for one day in a star's core before the star goes supernova. And then that some of that gets released to the interstellar medium. So it's interesting to see the genesis of elements in the star. And stellar abundances are interesting too. In a normal star, like a cluster like this, some of the stars, as Daryl pointed out, have become red giants, like this one. Okay? Like that one. Like that one. Okay? So these are stars that have become red giants already. And, we're talking about stars that are exceedingly cool on the outside, right? Okay, so like that star there in the box, that's a red giant. Okay, that one's a red giant. Okay, then we have this one is a red giant. Probably a red giant. Probably red giants. Probably red giants. All right, and if we drop the illustration here, okay, you can see the beautiful red giants that are in this cluster. This is just one of the two in the double cluster.
And when you see the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, that main sequence makes a line running from upper left down to lower right. That's when stars are fusing hydrogen. And when stars become red giants and supergiants, they have moved off the main sequence line up into the top right corner of the diagram.
Yep, that's right.
And that's where the giants and supergiants hang out, all the way over to blue supergiants over at the top left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stellar evolution is an interesting foray if you want to go looking at it. I think we're probably going to end up doing on SkyTour Radio. We'll probably do another stellar evolution radio show, because there's a lot to talk about with stellar evolution. I did it a few times, and I have one of my lectures. I think I did it on this channel, on Sky Tour live stream. Okay, this is beautiful. This is this half. Okay, and did it again. I mislabeled it, so I'm going to label it correctly. Right. So this is H Perseid cluster here. This is the center of the cluster, the center of the two. So the other one's probably out here somewhere. I don't know, it looks like it's that one, but I'm not sure. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's H Perseid. Okay. We'll set that as the target, and it'll complain.
I just posted a link to the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram illustration of it. You can see the main sequence, and then the giants going up to the upper right, and then some of them trail over to the top left.
Yeah. Yeah, the direction that stars move on there, there's complexity there. You know, when they get into the red giant stage, they go up a branch after the helium flash called the asymptotic giant branch. That's the second time they become red giants. That's when they dredge up this carbon. If they do have carbon, they'll dredge it up at that point. That's when it happens. And the result after going up that giant branch is supernova, because they'll end up in that red supergiant location at that point. Okay, let's do that. Let's save this. Okay, yeah, we got that. We'll save it exactly as seen. All right, and we're in H Perseid right now. So now let's do something else. Let's come out of this. We got the 1 second shot going here. We'll do this low light mode. There we are. And come in here, and we're gonna go here to this location, and let's watch the direction we move here. All right.
I think if you look at it in Stellarium there, you can see the top one we were at. That is the one farther away, and the one below is bigger and closer.
Yeah, so we're going to see that in just a second. Let me go here. All right, let's see now. I'm going to take this, bring it down a little bit. Okay. All right, so now this is the other component. And I already see there's a red star right here. Okay. So these are stars that have made it into that red giant stage. And they're probably red giant, not the asymptotic giant branch, which is the second time they become red supergiants. Probably the first time they move off the main sequence and run out of hydrogen fuel, basically. Okay,
which so again is a reflection of their age.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. I'm not going to... Go ahead.
These were probably the bigger, brighter, hotter members of the original cluster. And being so, they're the first ones to evolve off the main sequence. They used up their fuel faster.
Yeah.
There's a really red one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about right here, is being really red. We got another one over here. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to live stack this now. We'll take a few shots of it. Look at all the red stars in here. Wow. Now that's a lot of bright stars. A lot of red ones, Captain. Let's move down the line here.
What else did Scotty say?
It's green.
You got it. It's green.
Yep. That's when he was trying to get one of the Kelvins drunk.
Yeah.
When the barrier, is that the name of the Star Trek episode?
Was that the one where they were flying off toward the Andromeda Galaxy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. We got some beautiful red giants over here, red supergiants, or red giants. Not sure if they're supergiants yet. But they're the red giants that have evolved off the main sequence within this cluster. And they're actually showing us that sometimes clusters, as they get older, they can actually stay together. So they're all kind of mutually gravitationally bound a little bit. So if we saw them, they'd probably be orbiting each other. If we could see them do this cosmic pirouette, a very, very complex system. You know.
Birdie
End body problem. What'd you say?
I said it's pretty too.
Oh yeah, it's just gorgeous. Okay, now this is, I'm gonna not mess this one up. I'm gonna get the right one. Okay, this is Kai Pergi. I'll set that target name. And then I'll save the image with annotations so we have it. There we go. I'll save it again. Yes, replace. Okay. And I think we set that target name already, so I'll come out of this. All right. Very nice. I mean, look at how pretty that is. I mean, talk about beautiful sky, beautiful stars. And again, here's what would have been in black and white. We wouldn't have known that some of these stars are red giants. But add the color, and we do. We could tone it down a little bit, but I like it being a little higher so we can actually see what we're looking at. Maybe
I dare say back in the day, before astrophotography, astronomers still looked through the eyepiece, you know, in the telescope, and
oh yeah,
they saw the colors just fine.
But they weren't as intense as the sensors show.
But Herschel did see a garnet-colored star.
Yes, he did. With that telescope, you had to look down the barrel to see it on the speculum metal mirror. Absolutely crazy.
Use the tools you got.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
hey,
Mr. Django.
Hey there, Stephen Sept from Belgium. How you doing? Just woke up, need coffee. All right, man. Nice to see you. JCO said they had a stellar wind gust of 790 kilometers per second. just a bit ago.
They have been getting a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
I read on space weather that the one that hit a day ago, I think, they saw auroras as far south as New Mexico.
Oh, well, I gotta look in my. I have to look in my all sky camera and see. In that last night. Let me see if I can see those. That'd be kind of cool. I saw them last time. All right, we got 15. I'm going to save this here. Save it exactly as seen. There we go. Okay, H and Kai Persi are now immortalized in Sky Tour livestream. Yay. So cool. All right. Now, let's look at what's possible. There's something else we could look at, which I would like to look at, and that's right here. And it's actually pretty high up. Now, we haven't looked at the Heart Nebula with this camera at all. And as you can see, it's a massive object. So we have to pick one part of it to look at. And I think we should probably look at the fish head. And we're still not going to see the whole fish head. But it's really an amazing location. So let's try this out, shall we? Yes, we shall. Okay. So
I'm going to have to call it quits pretty soon. I'm turning into a pumpkin.
okay, don't fall down. You'll be squashed. Har har.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This may be it. Let's just make sure. I'm going to tell it to just go there. All right. We plate solved fine. And our movement is going to be very minimal because we're already there. Okay. And now, while we're waiting for that to set up, there we go. We stabilized. Let's go here. Do a quick shot here of the stars and grab these guide stars. Perfect. That's a beautiful star to guide on. And now we'll come over here and do a 30-second shot. And we will let this develop. So we're going to go into our deep sky mode right away. We're already doing fine. And then we'll see the picture, and you'll see the Fish Head Nebula, or a piece of it anyway. With the other telescope, we can see the entire Fish Head Nebula. By the way, the other telescope is up, but I'm having an east-west axis issue, but it'll be fixed as soon as we... oh, look at that. It'll be fixed as soon as we restart the cycle power to the building. Wow, this is the Fish Head Nebula, Daryl. First time. Okay, this is only one image. Look at that. Let's come over here. You hanging in there, Daryl?
For now.
Okay, good. Okay. You can see dark nebula in here, dark dust and everything in the fish head. And this is part of a greater complex, okay, which is here, called the Heart Nebula. And there's so many things to see in the heart. I mean, we've got, and we'll do this another time, we're going to look at these beautiful stalks over here and pillars. The heart has tons of these pillars in them. And then this guy is the brighter part of the nebula, but it's really, really something. There's other detail out here, so we're just looking kind of at this very area here.
Okay, I see it now. The image scale again was kind of throwing me. The brightest part of what we see there is like the fish's lips.
Right here?
Yes. And the dark line over at the bottom left, almost vertical, curving around.
This?
Yes. That's like the line of the gills on the fish's head behind his cheeks. I see it now. I said before, the fish head always reminds me of that fish sculpture I did.
Oh, yeah. You showed me a picture of that one time.
Well, I think we showed everybody a picture of that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this will be the last object anyway, and then the next time we stream, we'll dig into the Heart Nebula and the Soul Nebula, and we'll see some of the other objects coming up. So this was the foray into the far northern part of the Milky Way, looking into the other Milky Way spiral arms. We have a ways to go. We have 6 shots here, and I'm going to now take this and see we've got this overlapping material here. We see what these are. All right, we have the placement, and we're going to call this I believe this is we're going to call this NGC 0, is it, what's that? NGC 0896, so A96. Okay, and I'm going to add to that, I'm going to add Fish Head Nebula, or just Fish Head, because we know what that is. Okay, and that'll be the object that we're gonna. I'll save it as save it to with the annotations. All right, now we'll come out of this, and now we have Fish Head, and so we can save it with 8 images taken. We can see lots of detail in here already, which is really nice. Yeah. And so, and this is with a just past first quarter moon, so that's not bad for having a sky brightness that's equivalent to some light pollution.
Yep.
Let's show the sky. So look, the Milky Way is barely visible here because of the moonlight right down here. Okay, so basically we're taking pictures as if we're in, like I said, a light polluted sky, but we're not. Let's just do this for a moment and increase the size. So now you can see all the detail out here that I was talking about. There's a lot going on out there. Next time, for the next stream, we'll focus down into the middle of the Heart Nebula as well. This will be the last stream until I come back on Monday, October 6th. After that, we're going to end up having basically a full moon. And we don't image during the full moon because we have too much of the blue component of the scattered molecules in the atmosphere getting in the way of our UHCS filter. And looking at the full moon isn't very helpful because you don't really see much, right? There's no contrast, no shadows. You need it when we're at a different point in the cycle.
You reminded me of something. You talked about October 6th.
Yeah.
Starship Flight 11
Oh yeah.
is scheduled for Monday, October 13th. Liftoff scheduled for, I think it's 6:15 p.m. Central U.S. time. Subject to change, but that's the schedule right now.
Is it going? Is this the? They're doing a moonshot. I heard. I saw it being rolled out to the pad earlier today.
Artemis?
Well, Artemis, no, but Artemis is a different mission altogether. But Starship
Yeah,
was
well-
talking about circling the moon at one point.
Huh. I have heard nothing about that for this flight, at least.
Yeah, I don't think this flight, but they talked about circling the moon.
One of these days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You have a little box right next to your head.
Yeah, I know. That's that right there is the VCAM logo, which I can't get rid of unless I buy VCAM. And I can't buy VCAM right now because we're just, we have a lot of bills for SkyTour. We just had to re-up with our observatory. We pay $1,200 every 3 months.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It's $400 a month to have the Benson telescope. See, that's why it's so important to get support, guys. And that's the telescope we're using now, is the Benson telescope.
Ooh.
I know. And guess what? That's the cheapest pure hosting that we were able to find. They start deceptively low value, like $149, but that's for a pier that holds a little telescope, okay, and like a Red Cat or something like that. But if you want something that holds a regular telescope like this one, okay, then you're looking at a standard pier, and the standard pier, not a light duty pier, standard pier, is going to cost you several $100s a month. And with our rig, the way it has the swing, the size, puts it over $800 a month at many of these hosting sites.
I
You've
saw
mentioned-
where,
You're talking about Bray.
Go ahead.
You're going to talk about Bray Falls.
yeah, he just lowered his prices
Yeah, he has to.
for the big ones, for the largest telescopes.
Yeah, and that's not ours. It would be the medium size.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what
What
we
you
got
gonna
here.
do?
I'm going to
Win
stay in
lottery.
Benson. I'm going to stay in Benson. And I mean, they're very good observatories. We changed the door ourselves on this. This door that you see in here opens outward. It previously opened inward, and it was sticking. It wasn't very easy to open. So we replaced the door and the whole frame, and that's good. And the roof motor is currently working fine. It actually failed, a couple months ago, or a month ago anyway. And that failure kept us down for weeks until we could get someone out there to fix it.
Is that on them to fix such things?
Yes, because that's we're renting the building, leasing the building, I should say, and the building lease includes a motor to open and close the roof. That's on them. It's on us to be able to do the actual open and close, and that's perfectly fine. I can do that,
Yeah.
I can do that just fine. Okay. Okay, 21 shots here. We'll save it as well. All right. Alrighty. Well, this is good. Well, guys, we're going to call it tonight. We had a lot of interesting objects we looked at tonight. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed having you here, as did Daryl, I'm sure.
Sure.
All right. Fishhead Nebula, guys. All right. 23. And we'll save it. All right. I want to thank Tiffany Rose for supporting us tonight. She just became a new member. I just got the alert. So thank you very much. That was very, very kind. I really enjoyed that. JSCO says, I can't get the support link in your description here on YouTube to open. Maybe it's because it's too long of a link. It's very simple. Just do skytourlive.org, and when you get there, you can just click the donate button. It's easy as that. You know, and if you're going to do that, you humble us. You make us feel good. Because, you know, we care so much about this science. And it's so important that we spread the word, you know. So I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. I'm not quite over yet. I'm going to, you know, go through the last of it here. But it's been a long night. And I'm very happy that you guys came out with us. And so I hope you join us again for our next Sky Tour live stream, because I think you appreciate it, and I really appreciate all of you. If you want t-shirts, remember, we got those t-shirts. You can get them again at skytourlive.org. Leave a message for me or for Marianne or for Tara, and we'll see your message. And it's coupled with a donation for $25, and we can actually send you out a t-shirt. We have a number of sizes, so you can grab one. So you guys have fun. Have a good evening. And I'm probably gonna go to sleep now, because it's crazy. I mean, my music is more energetic than I am right now. So Daryl, thank you so much for coming out here and hanging out with us tonight. It's good to have you on again.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. Good
Oh, yeah.
night, everybody.
All right, folks. You have a good evening, and we will talk to you later on. So long.
Night all.
Good night.
Stars so bright in the sky, on Arizona nights they fly. Nebulae in colors rare, galaxies beyond compare. Sky tour in the night so clear, brings the universe near. Real-time wonders to see, streaming live for you and me. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing the views. Every night feels brand new. In the dark, the night unfolds, stories of the cosmos told. Through the lens, a distant dream, living real like a gleam. Far away, up so high, across the stars beyond the skull. Through the lens, a distant dream, living real like a gleam. Lift your eye up so high, across the stars beyond the sky. Sky tour shows us the way, every night a new display. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tour Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky soars